top 5 best Th14 attack strategies to use in 2025. Let's go. At number 5, we have the Electro Dragon Smash. Works well on compact multi-inferno bases. Now this strategy is pretty straightforward. First, we will create a solid funnel on one side with the Flame Flinger, and clear the other side with the heroes. Then we will charge the Electros through the middle. They will easily cruise through with the support of the Rage and Freeze spells, and we will use Warden ability to get through the Town Hall. Easy, right? So here on this base, we will attack from this side since we can get the Eagle nice and early. We will deploy the Flinger here to take down all these things. And heroes on the opposite flank will clear all these things and complete the funnel over there. That will leave us with this perfect L-shaped path for the Electros. They will move like this. We will zap out this sweeper for that and support them with the Rage spells to get through some high damaging area. Warden ability will get us through the Town Hall, and we will use RC later in the attack to snipe some back-end defenses with her Rocket Spear and support the Electros. That's the plan. Let's do the attack now. Alright, let's start with deploying the Flame Flinger. I am using a giant in front to trigger any possible hidden Teslas, since they can catch the Flinger off guard. Also, deploy it away from the Expos and Mortars since they can outrange it and take it down prematurely without getting enough value. Looks like everything is fine over here. So now let's turn our attention to the middle and zap out that sweeper as we planned. This way, we can avoid any sweepers with the Electros for the entire attack, since we can now fly behind the remaining sweeper without actually facing it. So no need to worry about the sweepers. Alright, the Flinger is doing fine. Now let's start the heroes on the opposite side. I am using a baby dragon to create a little bit of funneling and make sure they don't go in the wrong direction. Alright, the heroes are out now. As I always recommend, throw in an ice golem with them to squeeze out some extra value out of the hero dive. The good thing is, we don't have to wait for them to complete the funnel before deploying the Electros. We can deploy the Electros right away so they can work simultaneously. Just like that. With such a strong funnel on both sides, Electros will go straight to the core, and there's no chances of them splitting up or go outside of the base. Warden ability for the Town Hall as we planned earlier. It will also help us through the enemy CC. Notice how I use the Rage spells constantly to get through the base quickly. And now I am using the Freeze spells to keep the single Inferno under control. Usually, we want to use freezes for things like single Inferno, Town Hall, enemy heroes, or the scatter shots, since they can do so much damage to the Electros. Alright, this base is gone, and we didn't even need to use the RC here. That shows how strong this strategy actually is. At number 4, we have the Mass Miner attack strategy. Works well on spread out single Inferno bases. Also, I am not using the Eternal Tome in this one, but you can go double book on the Warden if you want. Now in this strategy, we usually dive our heroes to take down a big chunk of the base. It's great to get 1 or 2 key defenses with them, but the main purpose of the hero dive is to create a narrow path for the miners. And once that's done, we will charge the miners along with the RC and Warden through that path, and we will support them with the Ice Block and Heal spell throughout the attack. That's how this strategy usually works. So here on this base, we will obviously dive our heroes into this Eagle compartment. They will easily clear that whole compartment. And if we use the King ability right, we can also get another compartment as well. So after the hero dive, we will have this L-shaped path for the miners. They will move like this. We will use the Warden and RC to support them, and SB on the flank will keep them centralized. Also, Warden ability with Rage spell will easily get us through the Town Hall poison, and we will use Ice Block plus Healing spell combination to top them off throughout the attack. Simple plan. Let's do the attack now. Alright, let's start with the hero dive. I am using the Yeti to create a little bit of funneling for them. It will make sure the heroes actually go inside of the base and don't circle around. Alright, they are out already. Now remember, hero dive is very important in this attack, because if we mess up the pathing, then the miners will not stay together and split up in small groups and eventually die out. That's why I'm committing so much resources in hero dive to make sure they create a solid narrow path for the miners. They have cleared most of that compartment. Now let's use the King ability to move further as we planned earlier. Looks like they are moving to the downside. Now let them do their thing over there, and let's start the main phase of the attack. Deploy the miners in a small spread once the SB troops clear few flank buildings to push them directly into the base. Then follow up with the Warden and RC so the miners will tank the defenses for them in the beginning. Also, don't use all the miners initially. Make sure you save some of them to use later in the attack. Alright, the enemy CC is down. Now watch carefully how I use the Healing spell and Ice Block spell at the same time here. This way, they will stay frozen at a place and take almost no damage from the defenses, while the Healing spell will keep healing them in the background and top them off to the full health. We can also use it to avoid the Town Hall poison just like this. But instead of the Healing spell, we have the Warden ability to heal them up. Now use those miners we saved earlier. They will reinforce the main pack, and don't let them go outside of the base. Alright, this base is gone. Now if you want to learn more about this strategy, then check out this video from the channel. I have covered everything about the strategy in this one. At number 3, we have the Super Yeti Smash Attack strategy. Works great on multi-inferno bases. Also, I forgot to mention it earlier, but you can find all the army links in the description and the pinned comment. Now this strategy has so many different variations, but we will talk about the RC charge variation since it is the strongest one. Basically, we do a mini RC charge to clear a small chunk of the base and create a narrow L-shaped path for the Super Yetis. Then we will use the Super Yetis along with Electro Titans and remaining heroes to follow that path. They will easily run through the remaining base with all the support spell and hero ability at the disposal, and we will use SB to keep them all centralized. That's everything you need to do. So here on this base, we will charge the RC into this multi-inferno compartment. With several invisibility spells, she will clear all these things. And once we run out of the invisibilities, we will recall the RC to use later in the attack. So ultimately, we will have this L-shaped path for the main pack. They will move like this. SB will keep them centralized, and we will redeploy the RC that we recalled earlier to move along the main pack. Warden ability plus Rage spell for the Town Hall poison as usual, and we will use King ability and Jump spell to give them access to the entire base. You understood the plan? Now let's put it together. Alright, let's start with deploying the RC. Now we don't have to use invisibility if any weak single defense is targeting the RC, because she can easily get through them on her own. And the self-healing from Electro Boots will heal back any health lost to this defenses. But once the RC moves a bit deep into the base and start taking damage from multiple defenses, then we will use the invisibility spells to protect her. Alright, we ran out of the invisibilities, so let's recall the RC before she gets taken out. She pulled out the enemy CC here, which is not ideal, but I think we can handle it with the poison spell. Especially that furnace, which is so annoying to deal with otherwise. Now let's start with the main phase of the attack. Basically, all we have to do is spam everything on one spot and push them all into the base. The outer walls on the town hall side is very tricky, and all the outside buildings are placed tightly here. That's why I used the wall breaker in advance, and we also have to create a solid funnel with the SB, or else there's a high chance of the main pack wrap around the walls and not go into the base. Notice how I also redeployed the RC along with SB to speed up the funneling process. Alright, everything is going according to the plan so far. Now let's use the King ability to open up the base and move into the core. You might be wondering why I use the Ice Block spell here, but actually it is to buy more time for the SB troops to clear the outside buildings, so the main pack won't go over there and take the jump to the Eagle compartment. You will get these things with experience. Now people often go with only Super Yetis in this one, but I like to throw in some Electro Titans as well, since they help with the skeleton traps and enemy CC, and they also do area damage over the walls to soften up the defenses for Super Yetis and heroes, so they have perfect synergy together. At number 2, we have my personal favorite, the Fireball Super Witch attack strategy. Works on any type of Town Hall 14 bases. Now this strategy also works very similar to the last one, but instead of the RC charge, we use Fireball for initial funnel. And instead of the Super Yetis and Titans, we use the Super Witches that hits it harder and stronger. Role of the heroes and SB remains exactly the same. So here on this base, we will go for the scatter compartment with the Fireball. For that, we will deploy the warden here, and once he clears this archer tower, we will deploy 2 invisibility spells like this, so the Fireball can target the scatter and take down all these things with the help of an earthquake spell. That will leave us with this perfect L-shaped path through the town hall for Super Witches. Warden will also join them, and together they will move like this. SB will clear this flank and keep them centralized, and we will use King ability here to open up the core. Jump spell over here will give them further access to the back end, and we will use RC later on to support the main pack through it. Sounds like a plan. Now let's make it happen. Alright, let's start with the baby dragon. It will create a little bit of funnel to make sure the SB troop stays on the flank and main pack go into the base. Pretty simple trick, but very effective. Coco Loon ahead of the healers, as I always recommend. Alright, the archer tower is down. Now let's set up for the fireball. We also got the enemy queen with the fireball, which is always a great value. Looks like the warden is going towards the top side, so let's deploy the witches near his aura ring to pull him back on track. Pro tip, always stack super witches on top of each other. This way, the eagle will target them and then the healers will transfer on them from the warden. Now you can see why I used that baby dragon in the beginning. Usually, we don't have much time to create funnel once we deploy the witches, so it's always great to finish that in prior. Looks like our troops are separating due to that king ability opened up multiple compartments, but it's not an issue as long as they all stay in the base. Now let me give you an important tip. As you can see, we started the attack through the town hall and got it down early in the attack. Because with such smash type attacks, the strength and power of the main army decreases as the attack goes on. So it's always good to get the town hall as early as possible when we have our army at their full strength. I also did the same thing in previous attack, because they both kind of work in a similar way. Alright, this base is gone, but up next is the best Town Hall 14 attack strategy, so don't click away now. And now, still the best at Town Hall 14 is the RC Charge Dragon attack strategy. Works on any type of Town Hall 14 bases. Now this strategy is also very straightforward. First, we will charge the RC to take down a good chunk of the base. We want to get some key defenses with her, but the main aim of the RC charge is to create a rough pathing for the dragons. Then, we will further solidify that pathing with the heroes before wrapping it up with the dragons and dragon riders. That's it. Enjoy your 3 stars. So here on this base, we will deploy the RC here and press her ability right away to get some long-range shots to clear those outside defenses. And once she gets into the range of defenses, we will start using the invisibility spells to keep her invisible and charge further into the base. She might not get the town hall, but she will definitely clear all these things. So ultimately, we will have this perfect narrow path for the dragon and dragon riders. They will move like this. We will use king and queen on this side to further narrow down the path, and the giant arrow on queen will also get us 1 or 2 air defenses at the same time. Warden ability with rage spell will get us through the town hall, and we will use the stone slammer filled with super dragon to support the main pack instead of the blimp. Enough planning. Let's do the attack now. Alright, let's start with deploying the RC. Now the reason for using Rocket Spear right away is because this way we don't have to use invisibilities in the beginning, so the RC charge will be longer and we can get more value out of it. But once she runs out of the long-range shots and gets targeted by multiple defenses, then start using the invisibility spells. The good thing about this strategy is you don't have to be super accurate with invisibility spells. It's okay if you waste 1 or 2, we have so many of them, but try to place them in such a way that RC stays invisible while the defenses around her stays exposed. The main objective is to protect the RC and keep her alive. Alright, she cleared a good chunk of the base. Now let's deploy the queen and use her giant arrow as we planned earlier. As many of you already know, I am not a big fan of the giant arrow because it requires so much precision, so it's better to use other queen equipments if you're not good with it. Now let me give you one very important tip for Town Hall 14. Remember, if you want to conquer the Th14 and even want to 3-star Th15 in ranked or CWL, or even in the normal wars, then master these 2 strategy. This one and the Fireball Super Witches. Not only they help 3-star any Th14 base, but they will also give you a good chance of 3-starring some Th15 bases once you get good hands on them. And you can also use them at higher town halls. So once you master these 2 strategies, things gonna get easier at the higher town hall as well, and you will not struggle once you move to Th15 or 16. Alright, so these are the top 5 best Town Hall 14 attack strategies to use right now. I hope they will help you in the best way. And if you want full guides about these strategies or want to try new ones, then check out my Town Hall 14 playlist. I will see you there.